I mean, I was told by my film professor, there are films and there are movies, and sometimes you've got to know what you're walking into.
Yeah. See, but I come from a time when movies were films.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Court of Cinema podcast. I'm your Logan. Here, we talk about everything film and TV, and today's episode is actually being recorded in my car in a hotel parking lot. It's really not my bingo card of where I thought I'd be recording in my career of podcasting. I thought I'd be recording in Hawaii or at the Toronto Film Festival or even Sundance, but no. We're in my car inside of a hotel parking lot, and the audio is actually pretty good here, so we'll see how the vibes go on that front. Today is actually going to be me, a little bit of a yap session on Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1. And before I do say anything about the show, I should just really give some clarification. This episode is not a 1 trillion Easter egg breakdown of every single frame-by-frame moment of this entire Volume 1. If you want that, go to Eric Voss on New Rockstars. I am not him. I'm not Eric Voss. Eric Voss is the GOAT, but I will admit that I'm not him. So we're just going to be going through. I have some of my biggest moments, some theories in terms of some deaths, and also some theories as well. But before we do that, I guess if you've never seen Stranger Things and you are very prone to spoilers, which is weird as to why you're listening to this episode, number one, Stranger Things is a pretty good show. It's pretty solid. Is it a top 10 show of all time? I don't think so, but it's still very entertaining. It's very, very fun. Came out in 2016. I've been watching it since 2016. The show came out when I was in middle school. It's been out for 9 years. I started high school and finished high school in that same amount of time, and this show's been going on for a very long time, mainly between the gap from season 3 to season 4. It was a very long gap. That's what really increase the show's lifetime, and it has been a very, very long journey up to this point, and it's been a pretty good Volume 1 so far. And there's definitely still a lot to go through, so I'm not going to give my definitive score in terms of is it good or is it bad. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it, but like I said with a lot of different pieces of media, this is a part 1 of a 3-part release for this season 5, and there's a lot to go through. This is only the first course in a 3-course dinner, so therefore, with the first course, I can't just give my entire full review for the entire dinner. We haven't gotten the whole thing yet, There's still a very bigger picture here that we have to go through, so I have to be a little more patient before I give my full thoughts, but still, for right now, this was a very good Volume 1. I still very definitely enjoyed it. It's still very ambitious, with Season 4, the runtime for these episodes are so long, not because they want to be pretentious, but because they actually need the runtime to be that long, which is what I really do love about the Duffer Brothers. They're a very strong duo, and they did a pretty solid job with this first volume right here, which I definitely have to give some love for. And now going into just what I'm going to go through first here is my favorite moments and the biggest moments from this first part here for the first volume. So number one, I'm just going to go right into the bigger moment here. I mean, this is really the moment for this Volume 1, the defining moment, and spoilers in 3, 2, 1, Will getting powers was the biggest moment, and it was just really, for me, unexpected, a very cool moment. It was super awesome. That crazy sequence was really, really, really cool. I really enjoyed it a lot, and something that really was not on my radar. I mean, Will went from being a bottom 5 character. I mean, really, no one liked Will. I mean, the actor for Will, Noah Schnapp, he went through some controversy with some politics. I'm not going to really explain. If you know, but he is definitely, I think, the most hated actor on the show right now. And his character was definitely the most annoying for a lot of people. Him going from a bottom 5 character to a top 5 character in the span of 20 minutes is extremely impressive. I mean, really one of the greatest comebacks for a character ever, I think. It was very, very impressive, and I got to give some love to it. I mean, it was a very, very cool sequence. I mean, him going from a kid with a bad bowl cut to a Omega level mutant, that was really insane. He went from Will to King Von. He packed up 5 or 6 Demogorgons in 2 seconds. It was very, very cool. A very cool edited and composed sequence. It was super cool. I really, really enjoyed it. And like I said, there's definitely been a lot of really good moments in this first volume, but that is definitely the best moment so far for this season. I mean, definitely the most defining moment, as in, like, that's the moment. It was that one for sure. And then the next thing that's not very big, but still, since we're on the track of Will's gay subplot, that's definitely going to be a big thing going forward with this season. You know, Will and Mike, will they get together? My theory, I'm going to give some theories later on in the episode, but in terms of my theory, or the theory, or kind of, Will and Mike get together and, be two boyfriends, a gay couple. I don't think so. I don't think it'll happen. I mean, never say never, but I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I know that a lot of people want it to happen. A lot of people think it will happen, but I just don't see that happening right now. I mean, it will be big for the character and the community, but do I think it's going to happen? Not really. Respectfully, not really. I don't think it's going to happen. And then the next biggest moment that we didn't get a lot of info on, it happened later in the episode, Kali returning in the show. She was in season 2 in maybe the worst episode of the entire series. That's definitely the overall defining consensus that is the worst episode in the show. The episode with the kind of, the gang members of mutants was essentially that episode, which, it was definitely an episode that was clearly supposed to be a spinoff that they just swept under the rug. That's how it went. And, it was a moment that kind of, obviously is going to be built on more as we go into the rest of this series. But it's cool seeing her come back. I'm definitely interested to see how she went from season 2 to season 5. That's definitely, it's a moment that never got resolved fully. I don't think it was exactly even like a cliffhanger, but clearly they wanted to do more with that character. But the reception from the fans made that never happen, unfortunately. So it's cool seeing her back. Definitely very cool seeing her back. What will happen with her? I have some theories. I'll talk about that soon. But Kali is back, and there's definitely going to be some cool moments with her for sure. We'll have to see later on down the line. But I have some theories. I'll get to those very soon. But I have some pretty big theories that's, going to be kind of confusing for you. But for me, I think they might happen. And for my next theory, the next bigger moment for me was the Wheelers being invaded by that Demogorgon. That entire sequence was just, I think, chef kiss for directing, acting, pacing, composing. All of it was just so well done. The Duffer Brothers, that's maybe, it's a good scene. And maybe like the Will scene with him getting his powers, number 1, that sequence, it's definitely number 2. I mean, it's just really, really crazy. I mean, the Wheeler parents almost dying, that's crazy. We haven't really had any big deaths. I thought that death was it, with the Wheeler parents. I thought they were going to die. Really, really did. The mom with the wine bottle attacking the Demogorgon. It's crazy. That was a super just tense moment. I thought she won for a second, but, then I remembered the Demogorgons are like top tier insane creatures. They could have killed her if they wanted to, which is my theory that I have. And I don't want to talk about theories right now, but maybe I will. Or just a question that I have right now. My question right now is the Demogorgons, they're being controlled by Vecna, I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe it's the Mind Flayer Vecna, the same thing. They're not, but still interchangeable, you can say, even though they're not. Vecna or the Mind Flayer is controlling the Demogorgons. Why didn't the Demogorgons kill the Wheeler parents? I think it's because Holly, he wants Holly to trust him, so therefore he didn't want to kill their parents. It's definitely that makes the most sense, actually. Never mind. That's not really theory anymore. I think I kind of figured it out, because it was confusing to me as to why the Demogorgons chose not to kill them, because we've seen the Demogorgons in action. If they wanted to, they would have killed the Wheeler parents. Why didn't they? I think I understand it. He wanted Holly to trust them, and therefore he didn't brutally kill them, which he definitely could have. So never mind. Theory's done. And then the fourth bigger moment for me for this first volume is Max being alive inside of Vecna's mind is a bigger moment for sure. Also confusing, but still, crazy reveal. You know, I'm not exactly, I was starting to think to myself that they paid Sadie Sink north of $1 million. We can assume that for her to be in a coma. I knew she had to do something in this season, but I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be. And now I see what it is, and I have a trillion questions as to why and how, and it seems like Max does too, so she doesn't know either. Vecna might not know either, so we're all in the dark here, and the resolution to Max's character is going to be kind of cool and confusing, but we will see in a couple of short weeks here. So those right now are my biggest moments. Those are my 4 biggest moments. Number 1, Will's powers, crazy. Callie returning, pretty cool. Holly abduction scene and also the parents almost dying was nuts. And Max being alive is confusing, which is cool, and it's interesting, and it's weird, but I'm definitely here for it. And then now for my next sequence here, going into who's going to die in this next, as we go into volume 2 and 3, who is most likely to die. This is the big finale for the series. They may continue on into a sequel or prequel or something like that, or a legacy sequel in like 40 years, but someone's going to die. I think that at least one character is going to die, and I have a short list of who I think may or may not die. As I go into theories, I'll explain it a little bit later too, but still, here is who I think may or may not die as we go into Volume 2 and Volume 3. Number 1, I will say, is Joyce Byers. I understand Joyce, a beloved character. I think she is, really high on my list to die right now. If Vecna is to kill anyone to get at this group, it would be Joyce. I think that Joyce, and also Winona Ryder, I think she is possibly top billed. I mean, Winona Ryder, at least for Gen Z, we may not really understand, but she is really, she's the biggest actor in this show. At one point, she was one of the biggest actors in Hollywood. She's definitely at one point top billed. She may not be top billed anymore just because the kids are all growing up and everyone's gotten so famous. But still, Winona Ryder has been in a lot of movies, and she has been a beloved actor for a long time. If anyone's going to die, it's going to be her in this final season for sure. I think that definitely Vecna would do something like that, and if anyone would die, it would be her. And now I've seen a clip online, or maybe some people think that Will would die, but there was a clip from the Escape podcast. I give some credit to my guys over there, Andrew from the Escape podcast. He said that Will, essentially, I'm just going to paraphrase here, warning. So he essentially said that Will wouldn't die, or he shouldn't die, because it would be a disservice to Joyce. And I think that, number 1, I forgot to preface, but I think that everyone is on the table to die in this last season. I think that anyone and everyone breathing right now could die. That's just number 1. But if Will would die, that would be a disservice and a failure to the character of Joyce, just because Joyce's entire character from the first season has been to save Will, regretting that she didn't save Will the first time when he first got abducted, regretting all of it and just wanting her entire purpose to protect Will. And if Will would die, that would really, I think, it would be a big blow to the character. It would be understandable, but I don't think it would happen in this season. I think that most likely Joyce would sacrifice herself for Will instead of the inverse by a long shot. And as I go into a theory that I have in a little bit later, it's going to make more sense as to why Joyce most likely, very much so, could die. And these other ones don't have that much of an explanation, but still, I think it could happen. Robin could definitely die, for sure. Robin, things are going really good for that character. She's getting a lot more screen time. She's definitely very happy. She's definitely having a solid season right now in terms of, her presence, her comedic timing has been really good. I think she could die, especially with her and her current girlfriend making dinner reservations. Those reservations may never happen because Robin just might die. And I love Maya Hawke. I love Ethan Hawke. I love Uma Thurman. All 3 of those people I just named are insane. I mean, Ethan Hawke is one of my favorite actors of all time, but Maya Hawke is not safe. Robin is definitely my number 2 on who could die in this series finale. And as I go into number 3 is Vecna. I think Vecna is obvious to me. He's definitely the Darth Vader. I have a theory for Vecna a little bit later, but still, Vecna is an obvious one. You know, if I had to list off who's gonna die, the big bad villain, he might get backed up. You know, I do have a theory, but like I said, he might die. He really might die. And my last one for who I think is the most possible to die is Jonathan. I think it's Jonathan right now. Like I said, anyone can die. I mean, you know, Will, doesn't matter who, doesn't matter. Will, you can do 11, you can do Nancy, you can do Hopper. Anyone can die, but for who's most likely to die, I don't know why I'm feeling like it could be Jonathan, or maybe Jonathan and Joyce in the same scene could die at the same time. Very possible, very, very possible could happen, especially as now we know now that Jonathan wants to propose to Nancy. Maybe that proposal never happens because Jonathan dies. Maybe Jonathan proposes, then he dies right after. It could be brutal, but I'm just saying it is possible to happen. I know I think the biggest death that no one wants to happen is Steve, and I agree. I love Steve. Steve is awesome, but I feel like maybe since he's the one that the Duffer Brothers might just know that he's the one that no one wants to die, it's obvious that he might just die. That's just me saying it. I don't want to happen, but still, Steve could die, absolutely, and that would be very sad, but, you know, it could happen. And beyond that, I think that's just about it. Yeah, I know that there's also the main kids in the main group, you know, 11, also Mike, Will, Lucas, Max, and Dustin. Those are the big six of the group, you can say, of the show. I don't think that any of them could die. I mean, maybe. If I had to pick one, I would say maybe Dustin could die. I think that maybe Dustin, the way his character is right now in the season, you know, him and Steve are bickering. Maybe Dustin dies trying to save Steve in that sense, and this incredible duo, they now fall. That's a theory. It could happen. If any of these come true, I'm going to be really sad. But still, I think that Dustin, out of all the big main six of the group, Dustin will be, I think, the most likely to die as we go into the series finale here for the show. And I do think it's definitely a popular theory that they'll do like the same way It kind of brought back all the kids, but as adults. I think that could possibly happen if Netflix gets super greedy, or if Netflix goes bankrupt, they have to sell off the IPs. That maybe it's possible that, you know, in about 50 years, the main six casts of Stranger Things get brought back for a legacy sequel with like a Stranger Things, like kind of like an It Pennywise thing, where now they're all super old and they have to fight this big scary clown. That it would be so dumb, but it would be so genius. That could definitely happen in about like 50 years time. So I hope it happens. I'll be like 90 by that time, but still, it will be cool. And now for my last thing, I have some theories as in terms of theories in which they could happen. It's questions and theories that I think are kind of cool, that it's very possible and likely to happen. So here we go into some very quick random theories. Then I'll give some complaints. Then I'll just close this out for the entire day. But quickly, here are my theories for the series finale, final season for Stranger Things Season 5. All right, so my very first theory, and I'm not going to have a lot of like, hey, here's my theory, here's like 5 PDFs. I don't have that today. I'm sorry, I don't have that. I'm not that prepared. Relax. But my theories go as follows. Number 1, my first theory is that Vecna isn't the bad guy. Or maybe, you know, Vecna did kill a lot of people. He is a bad person. But I think that Vecna's true intentions, the true meaning of the Upside Down and the Butterfly Room in Hawkins' lab, it's going to reveal that, yes, Vecna is doing bad things, but he's doing them for a better reason. That his reasoning is actually good. Like, he's not fully a bad guy, and maybe we'll see that the kids and the entire gang team up with Vecna and they partner with him to kill the bigger, overarching bad guy. Maybe that's the Mind Flare. That's my theory. First one. I don't have exactly like documents of proof and evidence and quotes. I don't have that. I'm just saying some quick theories. That's one of them, that Vecna might not be the bad guy. It would make sense. I think it's definitely possible. Now, my next thing is, and this is a bigger one that I've seen online, is so the identity of who captured Will. That's been a big thing, So we know that's going to be revealed this season. That's confirmed by the Duffer Brothers. And we assumed that a Demogorgon captured Will in season 1. But we know now that Demogorgons don't have telepathic abilities. So therefore, it wasn't a Demogorgon that opened the lock on Will's door. We know that. And it also was confirmed that it wasn't Vecna who captured Will either. So therefore, my theory is that it's either 11, younger 11 captured Will, or gave Will to a Demogorgon, to the Upside Down. That's theory number 1. Or theory number 2 is that it might have been, and this is where another theory comes into play that combos with this, is that it was Will in the present who captured Will in season 1 and gave him to Vecna, completing this timeline, the grandfather time paradox of it all. And that's what really happened. And that goes into my next theory, that it also potentially could be a younger 11, or maybe a present day 11, went back into season 1 time, and she gave Will to Vecna to complete the timeline. That's the second theory here. And my third theory, which combos into this, is that they are going to conclude everything and wrap it all together with a bow with time travel. That is definitely, it seems like it's going that way. And it's not confirmed at all by anyone at all, but I feel like in some way it's going to be time travel. Not like, Back to the Future, but still in some way it'll be time travel. To where maybe they have to go back to fix something, or this, that, and the third, to wipe everyone's memories. I don't know how it's going to work. Time travel can get very dumb very fast. But remember in season 4, I do have a teeny bit of evidence here. In season 4, they revealed that the Upside Down is a mirror of our world. It's the mirror of the real world. But the Upside Down is stopped right now. The Upside Down stopped at a certain day, and it's like over a year behind the real world. So it's kind of like time paused and stopped at a certain day in the Upside Down. And the Duffer Brothers, they said that was in there for a reason. They said that will be revisited and explained in the future. So I think that potentially, that by the Upside Down being frozen in time, that they're going to find a way to abuse time in some way to resolve everything and bring everything back together and resolve the entire show. That's my theory. And my theory is going to be that maybe in some way Vecna isn't evil, and they have to partner with Vecna, and Will or 11 is going to go back in time to open the latch with their powers to bring Will from season 1 back to Vecna to complete the entire cycle. That's my theory. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm kind of going like Alex Jones level right now, but still, that's my theory right now. I can go on forever. It's a rant, but still, that's my theory. The next theory, I'm going to go through these ones kind of quick. The next theory, Vecna is Will's dad. That's been, I think, debunked, but still, it's a cool theory, kind of. Will is going to go mad with power. That's my last theory. Is it confirmed? No, but if it's going to be like I think for me, my theory, that Will is going to have like like X-Men Phoenix Force kind of like go mad with power kind of thing, and he's going to go evil. That's my theory. And then maybe that Will kills Vecna, but still 11. And also we now have Callie coming back. They have to team up to stop Will, because Will's going to go mad with power. That's my theory with Will, and it's going mad with power. Or also my bonus theory. This actually just came up. My theory for Callie, maybe she's going to be like Winter Soldier kind of thing, and Callie's going to be evil this entire time. That's my other theory, but I don't think that'll happen. That's just, random theory. So those are my theories. I'll go through them one more time. So my theories for the finale of Stranger Things are, number 1, Vecna isn't the bad guy. Number 2, the identity of who captured Will is either going to be Will or 11. That's kind of crazy, I know. The next one, Vecna is Will's dad. No, the next one, after that, Will is going to go mad with power. The final thing, the series will wrap with time travel. That's my theory. Now, my complaints for the show and for this volume 1, number 1, 11's character hasn't been done the best way so far. I feel like there's been a lot of problems with this first volume. It's very much so clearly only a part of the meal. There's definitely a long way to go. But with 11, I feel like she hasn't had a lot to do, or the way she's been written, it hasn't been the best for me. It hasn't been exactly bad, but still, I think that the character of 11, it definitely has been underwhelming for me this season so far. The next complaint, Mike's haircut sucks. I love Mike. I'm a black guy myself. Mike's haircut is garbage. They truly did him dirty. You know, it's one thing for Will in the last season to have a bowl cut, bad haircut. This season, Mike's haircut is terrible. It's trash. I mean, if I had a flat top, if I was trying to get a flat top, I would have given up and just gotten a buzz cut. That haircut's garbage. Now, that's terrible. I don't care if you're born in the 80s. That haircut is trash. There's been a good flat top, like in season 4, his haircut was cool. This season, it looks awful. I hate it. It's not good. But moving on into my last complaint here with this show, which is definitely the last thing of the day here. I saw this theory actually on the Raiders of the Lost podcast, and this is from my boys James and Anthony, super cool dudes. But they complained, which I definitely do agree with here as well, that in the real world, so in season 4, and in season 4, there was all these massive explosions, the cracks in the ground, the portals opening up, and the big dark clouds and thunder and lightning. And then season 5, all that goes away. You know, and it's one thing for, you know, we can say, oh, the military is the people who patched up the holes in like 5 minutes and all the storms and stuff are gone. And no Demogorgons popped out of the ground or anything. And all the damage control was done very swiftly. It's the government, after all. I mean, we can say that, but really, it does kind of feel underwhelming. You know, that's the point they were getting at there with that little blurb from their episode. That was a great episode from them. I recommend you listen to that. But still, you know, I definitely agree with them. You know, that it does feel underwhelming to have this big, massive finale. Everyone's looking down on the hill with just the chaos of Hawkins. And then in the next season, all that chaos, aside from just like the one portal that's still open, it's just, that's it. That was the entire thing, which definitely is underwhelming. That's happened in a lot of media, a lot of, you know, one movie ends and the next movie opens, and it's all kind of forgotten a little bit, you know. It can happen sometimes in movies, but still, that was definitely a very underwhelming moment. But, you know, overall, this first volume was solid. I enjoyed it. It's only part of the season. There's still a long way to go, and it's going to be a pretty cool finale. At least I theorize that it will be. So, I'm not going to hold you guys too long here. It's definitely been a little bit of a weird recording session here in my car. But still, until next time, let me know, what are your thoughts on this season? Is it good? Is it bad? What are your theories? I want to know that as well. And until next time, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more films. As a quick reminder here as well, Stranger Things, the Volume 2 comes out on Christmas Day, and the final episode, the series finale, comes out on New Year's Eve. And I'm very excited for it. New Year's Eve, the finale is going to be in theaters for that as well. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a wide release. I doubt it, but still, that's very cool to be coming out in theaters, and I'm pretty hyped to see that happen. So, until next time, guys, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more of this pretty cool and awesome show. And until next time, I'm Real Slogan. I'll see you boys in the movies.